Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Trek, where I'll be talking about and reviewing an episode of the original series, The Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, or Enterprise. Today I'm looking at Silicon Avatar from The Next Generation's 5th season, or as I like to call it, that time Riker encountered a doomsday crystal. This episode was requested by Old Straw Hat and The Noisy Spectator, so thank you both for the suggestion, and let's get going. We begin the episode with a survey mission for a new colony, and Riker flirts with this lady in her hideous waistcoat, and they arrange a dinner date for later.
I provide the most memorable desserts.
But here comes a 90s screensaver, so they all run for cover, and into the credits we go. Everyone cheeses it as it starts vaporizing trees, but someone falls. Here, have a child! And Riker is too slow to stop his gal pal from being vaporized. Worf detects the trouble, but they're still over a day away, so Picard orders Geordi to pick up speed, while the survivors make it to the cave and seal themselves in. Riker says they'll probably be fine, except they might run out of air, they can't get hold of Enterprise, and Data isn't sure the cave will protect them, so this is going well. Picard is antsy and orders more speed while everyone in the cave is starting to pass out, and Beverly says they need to get out.
If we open that entrance and it's still out there, we're dead.
If we all stay in here, we're dead.
And a crash draws Riker's attention as Worf Hulk smashes his way in.
Lieutenant Worf, I don't think I've ever seen a more beautiful sight.
Riker and Data go outside to find a beautiful matte painting of a wasteland, and because they plan to go after the entity, Dr. Kyla comes aboard to help out. She's very excited that some people survived and seems interested in Data, but not interested enough to look at him while he's talking to her. She doesn't care that 2 people died because lots of people didn't for the first time ever, and no, seriously, this woman will not look at Data. What's going on? She wants to go to the planet to poke around, but doesn't want Data going with her because of something Lore did way back when. But Picard says tough, and there's a lot of maroon in this shot. On the planet, Kyla ignores Data.
Commander, I can hear everything you say to me. If there's anything worth my response, you can be sure I will not be silent.
But is interested in the caves, seeing as other people tried to hide too, but were still killed, and she thinks that this group was spared because of Data. She accuses him of being in cahoots with the entity, and while Data says his programming would not allow that kind of behavior, Kyla doesn't care because turns out her son was killed because of Lore's actions.
And if I learn you have been helping that thing in any way whatsoever, I will see to it that you are disassembled piece by piece.
Okay then. The Doc is disappointed by the results she gets, as the information is the same as normal, but Data suggests a test which reveals a pattern left behind by the entity, which could be used to track the thing. Kyla begrudgingly thanks Data, and he tells her that the memories and knowledge of the colonists that died because of the crystal were integrated into his programming.
Interesting.
There are 2 possible places the crystal could go next, and Kyla wants to blow the shit into it, so Picard tells her off for being a nutcase. He wants to chat to the thing because he says it has rights like everyone else, but Kyla is furious. Guitar break! She goes to see Data to apologise for being a bitch and asks if he has memories of her son, which he says he does. And she blames herself for leaving him on the planet which he ultimately died on. But Data says her son was proud of her achievements. The pair get called to the bridge because a distress call comes from a ship, and they could do nothing but listen to them all die. Yeesh! Kyla gets all upset in the turbo lift, and Riker goes to see Picard to tell him he thinks enough is enough and they should blast the thing, but Picard disagrees and Riker storms out. As they set up their communication plan, Kyla questions Data further about his memories of her son, and he says that he played lots of sport and had a girlfriend called Janina, so she asks him to talk to her using his voice, so he obliges, which is both silly and also emotional. On the bridge, they send out a signal to lure the crystal in, and Kyla is mesmerized by it. It starts talking back, but Kyla blasts it with a high-pitched tone, which it doesn't like, and eventually blows it up, so Data takes her off the bridge. Kyla talks to her son through Data, but he tells her that her son would not be happy with what she just did. Alright, is anyone else getting Doomsday Machine vibes from this? Big killing machine floating through space with no known origin, killing everyone it comes across, until someone who's lost someone they care about pursues it obsessively and uses any means they can to destroy it, regardless of the captain's wishes or orders. Kyla is a lot more subtle in her actions than Decker was, which in a way makes her more dangerous, but both characters were pushed to the point of insanity due to their grief. While the episodes have the same framework, they differ enough for this one to stand on its own. I guess watching Datalore, the season 1 episode, which is referred to heavily throughout, would have been better for context, but they still explain it pretty well as you go through, so it's not essential viewing. I like the evolution of Kyla and Data's relationship as we go through the episode, her disdain for what he represents being overshadowed by his persistence and want to help. Ellen Geer did a great job with the role of Kyla, and you could anticipate her actions based on her subtle acting choices. So how the episode played out wasn't surprising, but it was in no way boring or formulaic either. Speaking of acting, I am still convinced that Brent Spiner doesn't play an android, he is an android, because he makes the role his own, and his physical movements are very believable as a synthetic being. The idea of Data having the memories of Kyla's son was quite sweet and led to some emotional scenes. But at the same time, Data using the kid's voice felt a little silly, but they cut away from him enough to focus on Kyla's reaction that it didn't lose the heart. All in all, a good solid episode and an enjoyable watch. So there you have it. That was Silicone Avatar. If there's an episode of Star Trek you'd like me to cover, pop it down in the comments or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot, or consider subscribing if you want to be assimilated into my channel. Alternatively, feel free to check out my other YouTube channels. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and live long and prosper.